Hi guys, so good to see you again after the October break. Dzień dobry, konnichiwa, namaste. How's it going? G'day mate. So I've been out around the classes today and saw you all coming in this morning and looking really smart and very casual and very red. Now, I don't mean you've got red faces because you've been out running about in the playground. No, I mean that everyone is wearing red. I wonder if anyone can tell their teacher why we are wearing red today. Did you get it right? Are you sure you got it right? Yeah, absolutely. Today's assembly is about showing racism the red card, and that's why we are all wearing red. And I'm going to explain a bit about what racism is and why it is absolutely wrong. So I'm not going to say an awful lot more other than let's just get going with this. Show racism the red card. What does a red card mean? Anyone who knows anything about football, you will know that if a player is shown the red card, that is because they have done something that is wrong and they're no longer welcome to play in the football game. So that's why we are saying show racism the red card, because we don't want racism in our school. We want it gone, so we are showing it the red card because it's not welcome in our school. Now, the little drawing right in the middle there, that was done by Grace in Primary 7 today. And I thought, you know what, I'm going to include that in my assembly because I absolutely agree with what she says. They're black and proud. Could be brown and proud, could be white and proud, could be red and proud, anything at all, because we are all equal. And I'm going to explain in today's assembly what racism is, how it can affect people, a little bit of history about it, and what we could maybe do to stop it. In fact, that's something you could come up with in your own classes. But I want you to think about something first. The next slide, you're going to see something that you've maybe seen lying about in your house. Maybe in the bathroom. Fast Tan Bronze Self-Tanning Lotion for natural looking tan. You can see in the two pictures, before, then after. Don't want you to say anything yet, because I want you to look at the next slide. Beautiful sandy beach. There's parasols there on the beach, so that means it must be sunny. It looks like it's somewhere hot because there's palm trees. There's people sitting in the shade under one of the palm trees. That looks to me as if that is a place to go on holiday. Now, when you go on holiday, if you're going to somewhere hot, even in Scotland, you need this. You pack all your clothes, but you also pack your sun lotion, and that's to stop you getting burnt, but it's also to help you to get a tan. So self-tanning lotion, going on holiday to get a tan. So what do you notice about those two things? Let's have a look. Have you thought of it yet? Have you told your teacher yet? Well, here is the answer. Skin colour. Because the self-tan and the sun do one thing, and it changes our skin colour. It makes us browner. Now, I'm a bit confused because we want to look browner. That's great. But when we come back from our holidays, or we put on our self-tan or we go for a spray tan, does it actually change the person that's underneath that colour? When I come back after the summer, I've usually got quite a good suntan. Because I'm tanned, does that change me from being Miss Bally? No, you're absolutely right. Just because my skin's a little bit darker doesn't change who I am. I am still me. So wouldn't it be ridiculous if I came back after the summer holidays and I was nice and brown and people treated me differently because I was nice and brown? People would maybe start saying unkind things, not letting me join in what they were doing. I think that would be a bit silly, wouldn't it? Because I'm still me. I still sound the same. I look the same, although a bit darker coloured skin. I still have the same aches and pains. I still laugh at the same things. I still give the same hugs that I always give. So I've actually not changed. The only thing that's changed is the difference in the colour of my skin. So I get a bit confused because we want sometimes to change the colour of our skin, and yet people who have a different coloured skin sometimes are picked on. And all these things that we spoke about, or I spoke about there, about feeling the same aches and pains, finding the same things funny, none of that is any different to anybody else. The only thing that's different is the colour of people's skin. So why subject them to racism? Now, racism isn't something that is new. And when you go back in the earliest records, way back in the year 1086, a lot of the population in England were slaves. So here you can see someone who has got dark coloured skin, and then this person who's got white coloured skin who thinks they're better, but the slave is chained to them so as they can't run away. They get to do all the horrible jobs. So 10%, so that's 1 in every 10 people in England were a slave. So if that was in your class, you've got, say, 30 in your class, 1 in every 10, that would be 3 people in your class would be slaves, all because of the different colour of their skin. And they were made to do horrible jobs. Then, people like Hitler, this man in the bottom corner here. World War II was all because Hitler, well, he wanted to take over Europe, but he decided that anyone who was a Jew, a gypsy, people with dark skin and dark eyes, he decided that they were bad people and he wanted to get rid of them. So he was a racist and he ended up, along with the people in the Nazi Party, murdering millions of innocent people in World War II just because they were different. In 1807, in Great Britain, it was decided that the slave trade was going to end in Britain. So it was done away with. In fact, not so long ago, we celebrated the 200th anniversary of people in Britain saying, we're not doing this. We are not having slaves. We're not selling people to America and other countries to do the jobs that other people won't do. So that all changed in Great Britain. However, in America, it took them another 61 years to decide that slavery wasn't right. So things changed in America in 1868 when slavery was done away with. But that didn't mean that all of a sudden people were treated equally. It was still a case of some people felt that white-skinned people were better than people of colour. So there were taxis. You can see there it says whites only. So if you had skin of a different colour, you weren't allowed to get in that taxi. you can see in the middle here, bus stops for non-whites. So if you were any other colour but white, you'd be allowed to stand at that bus stop. This is a shop which was just for people who had different coloured skin. Here's two benches sitting side by side. Europeans, so that means white skins. This is taken in South Africa, so people with white skin. And then there's one there, non-whites only. So you couldn't sit on the same bench, you couldn't go into the same shops, you couldn't sit on the same buses. Although there was a lady called Rosa Parks who did sit or did refuse to give up her seat for a white person on a bus. And that started to really change things back in the 1960s in America. And then there's a sign here in America, we want white tenants in our white community. Now, going back to what I said about suntans and skin colour, imagine if you came back from your holiday with a lovely suntan on your skin, and suddenly you were told, no, you can't come into this shop because you've got dark coloured skin. Or you can't get on this bus because this is a bus for whites. Or no, your bench is over there because your skin isn't white. You have to go and sit over there. It's absolutely ridiculous. I think I would actually be really, really angry if somebody did that. But believe it or not, some people still think that people with a different coloured skin are not as important as people with white skin. I personally think that's ridiculous. And here is why. Your skin colour is down to one simple thing, and it is called science. It's nothing to do with where you were born. Well, yeah. Possibly in the past it was, but when I look at our school, the majority of people in our school were actually born in this country. Doesn't matter what colour they are or anything, but it's all down to science. It's a chemical in our body called melanin. And the more melanin we have in our skin, the darker our skin is. And when we go out into the sunlight, our body produces more melanin. And that is to stop us getting burnt. It's to protect our skin from the sun's rays. So the longer we're out in the sun, obviously with sun cream, but the longer we're out in the sun, the darker our skin becomes. So it's all about protection. Now, when you look at this map of the world, you can see the differing skin colours throughout different parts of the world. So here's the United Kingdom here. This is where we live in Scotland, which is part of the United Kingdom. You can see it's a very, very pale colour. But as you move through to Europe, so we've got France and Spain, well, there's Spain there, and then Italy. In the bottom of Italy, you can see that that's getting a darker colour. So moving further south, then you get into North Africa. You can see the skin colour becoming darker and darker and darker until right across the centre of Africa, over in parts of South America and over here in the Pacific Islands, you can see there's a real dark colour in the map. And the reason that that is there is because the people in these countries have more melanin in their bodies because this is where the sun is stronger. It's hotter, it's stronger, and it will burn your skin more. So it's actually human nature's way of protecting us from being burned. Yes, a bit of it is all to do with who your parents are and what their makeup is. But that is why we have different colours of skin. So it is all science, but it's something that we cannot change. Therefore, it is not acceptable to make someone's life unhappy or sad because of who they are. and what their colour is. Now, it's not just the colour of people's skins that people pick on them for. In the world, we have, this is just a few symbols of different religions, different beliefs. Some people think that people of a different religion who have different beliefs think that they aren't as good as them. But again, everybody lives their life differently. We all live and think different things. So whether you follow Jesus, whether you follow Allah, whether you follow Muhammad, Buddha, anybody, any of these figures in world religions, it doesn't matter, because people are still people. They get ill, they bleed the same colour. Take coronavirus at the moment. Anyone can get coronavirus. We are all the same. Now, sometimes you do hear negative things about different people, and sometimes people say things, sometimes without actually thinking. But if you stop and think, have they just said something that's bad about somebody else because of the colour of their skin and their religion? How can I change things? So that is the challenge that I am setting you. How can you change things to stop racism? Because in our school, we are going to show racism the red card.
So the first thing that I need to kind of have, not a moan about. No, it's not actually a moan. No, you've actually done really, really well. Before the holidays, as you know, we started primary 4s to primary 7s eating our lunch in the dining hall. And I have to say, you have done really, really well. It's the cleanest the dining hall has been forever. Honestly, it's absolutely amazing. You're all doing really, really well. And you're following instructions and it's working really well. What we are going to do next week is we're going to flip it around, because the past 2 weeks, primary 6 and 7 have gone to the first sitting. So it's going to be primary 4 and 5 will get in first. So the primary 4s and 5s, when the bell goes at 12:15, you come down and line up outside the dining hall like you have been doing, but you'll do that at 12:15. Primary 6s and 7s, at 12:15, you will bring your packed lunches down if you have a packed lunch, and you'll put them on the trolleys that'll be under the canopy just outside the dining hall doors. Primary 4s and 5s will come in, sit at the tables that they've been sitting at. I have asked them to swap the blues and the yellows about a wee bit. So the 4s and 5s, you'll sit down at your table, and it'll be exactly the same as what's been happening. But next week, you guys will be getting to go first. Now remember, if you are a red lunch, you go to the side that is nearest to the stage. And if you are a blue lunch, you go to the side which is beside the community room door to collect your lunches. But it's dead easy. So primary 7s, you'll be out playing in the playground while the 4s and 5s are eating their lunch. And you will come in at around about 25 to 1 and get your lunch at the second sitting. So while the 4s and 5s are eating their lunch, Mrs. Simpkins, etc. will be getting you lined up, making sure your hands are sanitised before you come into the hall, and you guys will sit on your usual tables as well. So it's really quite simple. Another thing I need to speak to you about is, because of the amount of rain that we've had, I got round most folk in the dining hall today when you were in eating your lunches, but you need to stay off the grass. It's really, really wet and soggy and muddy underfoot, and we've had a lot of children running about. They've slid, they've fallen. Even if it's not raining, stay off the grass. We'll let you know as soon as we can go back on it, but it's just too wet at the moment. Just because of the amount of rain we've had through the October holidays and in the last week or so as well. So, well done on the lunches. P4s and 5s are going first. And also, please, can you stay off the grass? relax. I really want to personally thank all the mums and dads and grannies and granddads and whoever it is that is at home looking after you, because we're trying really, really hard to make sure that everyone is safe in our playground at the start of the day and at the end of the day, because as you know, we've gone back to normal 9 o'clock to 3:15. And it's really hard at the end of the day to get all you guys out of the school along with the adults that have come to collect you, but make sure that everyone is safe. So I would like to say a big thank you to all the adults who have put a plan in place to meet you somewhere different or somewhere out with the school grounds, or make sure that there's only one adult has come into the playground, because just by reducing the number of adults in the playground, it is making things that little bit safer and that little bit easier. So thank you to everyone who has helped with that, and thank you to everyone who wears their face mask when they come in to drop the children off. Still, some parents that are maybe not wearing their face mask really, really want to see as many of you with face masks as possible. It was one of the things that came out in the survey we did for parents, and we're just trying to help and we're trying to make it safe for everyone. But thank you for all that you're doing to keep yourselves, your children, everybody else's children and the staff safe whilst they're in the school grounds. Thank you. Shout out time.
Show racism the red card.
Show racism the red card.
Show racism the red card.
Racism the red card. Show 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 racism the red card.
Show racism the red card.
Show racism the red card.
Show racism the red card.
Show racism the red card.
Show racism the red card.
Stars of the week.
So here we go with our stars of the week, and the first one goes to Calvin in P1C for having such a super first week back at school. Well done, Calvin. Absolutely well done. P7C for being very talented during basketball and teaching me things, and that's from Mr. J. Well done, P7C. Must have been amazing. There's not much about sports that you can't teach, Mr. J. Imogen in P4B for working hard with Mr. J in literacy. Well done, Imogen. And Xander in P7C for having a fantastic attitude towards his learning. Thank you. Well done, Xander. Absolutely, thank you. Mason in P6S for working hard to listen respectfully and not talking over others. Well done. Absolutely well done, Mason. Logan K in P7DS for being so helpful and supportive. You are amazing. Thank you. Absolutely. Miss Silva told me all about it. Well done. Really proud of you. Rory in P2S for trying his best all week. We can't ask any more than trying your best. Well done, Rory. Lily Grace in P7DS for being responsible, respectful and always working hard. You're a star. I couldn't agree more. Well done, Lily Grace. Rory in P2W for trying his best with his writing. Well done, Rory. This is from Mrs. Fimister for Taylor in P5B for always being super helpful and hardworking. Well done, Taylor. Harry in P1G for having excellent manners and a positive attitude. Absolutely, Harry. Well done. Connor in P3SP for being helpful, well-mannered and hardworking. Absolutely brilliant. Well done, Connor. Also P3C, Ollie for showing brilliant resilience and listening so well when learning a new skill. Well done, Ollie. Lily in P5B for always being on task and hardworking. Well done, Lily. Lyle in P4D for trying hard in his tasks and listening very well. Great job. Brilliant news, Lyle. Well done. Lacey in P4B for demonstrating fantastic listening skills and always working to the best of her ability. Again, we can't ask any more than working to your best. Well done. Lily M in P5H for putting 100% effort into every task and being very helpful. Absolutely brilliant, Lily. Well done. Neve in P3SP for a brilliant hole-in-one in foot golf. I have a feeling that one might be from Mr. J. Well done, Neve. Absolutely brilliant. I need to try this foot golf someday. So that's Stars of the Week finished for today. And in fact, other than just seeing some of the children around the school showing Racism the Red Card, that's us finished for Assembly today. So have a good weekend, stay well, stay safe, and we'll see you next week. You take care.
Show racism the red card.
Show racism the red card.
Show racism the red card.
Racism the red card. Show 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 racism the red card.
Show racism the red card.
Show racism the red card.
Show racism the red card.
Show racism the red card.
Show racism the red card.
See you next week, guys.